Hi there, I'm Camilla Campuzano, the Community Manager of Montessori Thrive and Nido Marketing. Welcome to the Nido Marketing YouTube channel, where every week I make videos to help Montessori school leaders market their schools, grow their enrollment, and find a sense of support and leadership online. This week, I'm going to be talking about some tips to help make your Montessori school blog better. Writing blogs is really an art. And here at Nido Marketing, while we do produce weekly blogs for Montessori schools, we want to help you create your own content if that's what you choose. So hopefully these tips are things that you can keep in mind if you're looking to start a school blog, which I most definitely recommend you do. It has so many benefits, from educating families to helping with your website and to even helping with your SEO. It's great to write great blogs for your Montessori school. So let's go ahead and get started and look at some tips for writing great Montessori school blogs. My first tip for writing great blogs for your Montessori school website, besides, all the benefits of marketing. So when we look past all of the marketing benefits of creating a Montessori school blog, such as how it helps you create content that you can then post all over the internet, how you can reach out to parents with this new content, and how it can also help just build your website, refresh your website, and help you with your SEO. Ultimately, you want to create a blog because you want to be educating parents and you want to establish yourself as a thought leader. This is why my first tip is really to be authentic and transparent with your school blog. If you want to really focus on educating families on the unique benefits of Montessori and how your school plays a role in this, you want to make sure you're creating content that is very clear about what Montessori is, what authentic Montessori means, to provide information that's useful and helpful to parents, and to make sure that all of your information is accurate and clear. You can always provide links to articles and resources that you've based your information off. If you have teachers on your staff who are going to be writing this content, they can provide information based off of their learnings from their training or experience in the classroom. But it's great to provide content that is really just well curated, authentic, and transparent about what the Montessori experience entails. This is what people want to see is truth and what Montessori actually means. So keep this in mind when creating a school blog. Secondly, when it comes to writing content for anyone, it's important to focus on your reader. You really want to put yourself in the shoes of a prospective or current Montessori parent and think about what kind of content would be beneficial and worth your time. You really want to write like you are explaining Montessori to people who don't know what it is. Oftentimes in the Montessori space, we're so used to our own lingo. We use our own vocabulary. We use a lot of Montessori terminology day to day. We're all academics, we're all scholars in the Montessori space, but oftentimes this is language that's new to parents, and it might be a little bit overwhelming if they're reading a blog and they don't know what a lot of words mean. They might not know what we mean when we say practical life necessarily. So it's always important to break it down and make the language and vocabulary that you use in your blogs approachable language. Think of that. You don't want to be too complex. And if you are using those key terms that are very common for us day to day in the Montessori space, to break them down and explain it. Always keep in mind that your reader might not necessarily know all the ins and outs of Montessori yet. It's a great way to invite them to come and learn through your blog. Also, answer questions that parents would have and really focus on providing value to the reader. Oftentimes, parents want to read blogs that provide value and answer questions that they want to know more about. This brings me to my number 3 point, which is to share practical tips and advice. While it's great to provide blogs that explain daily life in your Montessori classroom, as parents do want to know what happens in a Montessori classroom day to day. It's also important to include blogs that outline things that parents need to know. And you might have your ear out for what these topics are. It's always great to see what parents are wondering more about, what they're asking teachers about. But things like tantrums, toilet training, activities to do at home, Montessori environments at home, how parents can set this up, breaking down the planes of development. What are the sensitive periods? What do children need at specific age groups? Positive discipline and examples of how they can use this at home, give some concrete, scenarios of what parents can do when this happens. All of this provides value. Also, this is what parents are searching for. And if a parent comes to you later on with a question of, oh my goodness, my child I'm really struggling with toilet training. Do you have any advice that, is Montessori based? You can refer them to a blog. So all of these are great blog topics. And again, you want to keep the reader in mind. What do parents actually want to read about? Well, some parents are super interested in the Montessori journey that a child would have in the classroom. It's important to also provide those blogs that are going to really answer those pressing questions about parenting and how parents can introduce Montessori a little bit more at home as well. So keep that in mind when it comes to creating your blog and creating content for your school. Finally, use visuals. People are visual. It's important, especially on your website, to always back your stories up with whether it's, charts, graphs, if you're trying to show data, images of classroom materials or children at work, or examples of activities that children can do at home. It's great to tell the visual story as well. You always want to make sure that you're using high quality image. You can showcase your environment, curriculum. Maybe you can write a blog on all the practical life activities that you like to focus on in a certain age group in the classroom, and you can show pictures as well so parents can see for themselves what their children will be working with. You can also consider using videos to give a little glimpse of what goes on in the Montessori classroom, and these don't have to be your videos. You can also always link videos to YouTube. Just make sure you have permission to use them. You can also use pictures that are free stock photos. Pexels is a great website for this. There's a lot of free images that you can use if you don't have the time to take your own. At Nido Marketing, we also, if you're a client of ours, we have access to our Montessori stock photo library. If you're a content subscriber, you can use those pictures. But you always want to make sure to include visuals when you're publishing school blogs. It just helps make the blog look more appealing. It also just helps with SEO in general. We know this already. And it's always important to tell your story visually as well. We know that it helps people approach the blog. And finally, when it comes to writing a blog, my tip for schools would be to be consistent and regular. I'm not saying you have to blog every single week. Maybe that's a little bit overwhelming for you. Maybe you don't have the capacity to do that, but make sure you can set a realistic blog schedule that you know that you can keep up with. And oftentimes I even recommend writing all your blogs in the summer or when it's a low time, and you can schedule them out throughout the year. If you're doing one blog a month, that's 12 blogs. That's, you sit down, in 2 days, you can write, these blogs have to be maybe 500 words. They don't have to be long necessarily. And you can always recycle blogs as well. Just because you wrote a blog 5 years ago doesn't mean you can't reuse it. I definitely recommend repurposing content, but you really want to aim to publish content regularly so that parents know what to expect. They say, oh, every time there's a newsletter, there's a new blog, and I can go check that. Whenever the school releases their monthly newsletter, I can go check out their advice, their parenting tips, what is their blog about? It might be relevant to me, and you can send it out to prospective parents as well. But it's important, if you want to keep parents engaged with your blog, to be regular when it comes to posting and publishing blogs. You can share it all over your social media as well. I really recommend it. So really keep all these tips in mind when it comes to writing a blog, and just start writing. Content is really moving in marketing, especially in the Montessori space, because we're in a position where we have to constantly be educating families on why Montessori is the right choice for their child. So definitely write your blog and keep these tips in mind. I hope you found this video helpful, and I do hope that you start using some of these tips to write blogs for your Montessori school. Writing blogs is really such a beneficial way for your school to spread awareness about Montessori, develop thought leadership, and educate families, whether they're prospective families or current families at your Montessori school. If I left out any tips, please feel free to drop your ideas and suggestions in the comments. I look forward to reading them. I'll be back next week with another Montessori marketing video. Until then, take care.